have some interesting news to share with you. But before that, let me introduce today's topic with a small story that happened in my therapy center. Now, there are two children, let's say child A and child B. So, I had finished therapy session for child A and she came out, and she's a very active child who loves to keep moving around. And she had been sitting inside the therapy room for a while, so now she had to move her body and be free. And at this time, when she finished her session, my next therapy session child had come. So let's call him child B. So B came in, and B is very interested in children, but also kind of reserved and does not talk to new children much. So B was just watching A and how she's moving and everything. Then I saw something really nice happen. So B went near A, and immediately within let's say 5 to 6 seconds, both of them sat together in a chair. Now they didn't talk much, they didn't communicate anything verbally, but I could feel that they were both comfortable in each other's company. They just sat down and they were looking at each other's hands. And for A, this is a big feat because A was sitting a long time and she just came out and she wants to move, but she could sit down next to B. And B was also showing interest in this child and trying to connect with A. So to me, this is a very great feat, and I'm very excited about this. So along these lines, I want to talk today about social interaction and how to improve your child's social ability. Simple things you can do at home. So the exciting thing I was telling you about is we are adding 30 new sentences. These are sentences with requesting format, with negation sentences, with descriptive sentences, with past tense sentences, and with sentences about feelings this time. So if you haven't already, the link to download the free app is in the description. You can't really develop social skills if your child does not have enough opportunity to play and interact with another child. So the first thing you're going to do is get one or two children who are around your child's age. This is a very important point. Sometimes we notice that children are very comfortable with older kids and older adults rather than children their own age, because they are more easy and forgiving and considerate to the child. So that is why they prefer them. But I want you to choose similar aged children. So the structured part of the play date means I want you to come up with an activity. A very simple activity which your child can do very easily, and we're going to use this to teach social skills. The focus for us is on teaching social skills and not the skill. As in, if you take a puzzle, our goal is not to make sure that your child fixes the correct puzzle, but that your child is social during the puzzle activity. So if your child makes mistakes in the puzzle, do not worry about it. Do not try to focus on it. Don't try to correct your child. So that's why it's very important you take a very simple, easy activity that your child knows very well. It could be coloring for some children. It could be puzzles, like I said. It could be a car, playing with cars, like a car race or a Hot Wheels track or a train set. It could be anything based on your child's preferences. Hey, if you're finding this content useful, why don't you click the like button? And if you really like it, why don't you also subscribe and press that bell icon so that the next time I release a video, you get updated. And with all these toys, pick one thing that you can do. That is, if you have taken coloring, so there's one sheet to color, both the children will color. If you are taking blocks, then you show a picture of a house or a bridge, and both the children are going to build a bridge together. So there's one target, one way of doing the activity. Now during this time, firstly work on social skill of turn taking. So how you would do this is you keep the crayons box with you. First you say, so first turn is, let's say your child's name is Sai. So Sai's turn, and give him one color, a crayon, whatever he asks for, and give it to him and he colors one part of the picture. So then he gives it back to you. Now you say now it is, let's say the other child's name is Nitin. So Nitin's turn. So you give the crayon to the other child and he colors. Oh, now again it's Sai turn. Then again you give him another crayon. So like this, they color together. They color one picture together by taking turns one after the other. Same way with the blocks. So you give one piece of block to one child so they can keep, and give the next piece of block to another child so they can keep. Same with puzzles. Into your structured play date itself is to add physical games with the other child. That is, arrange certain physical games. Let me give you few examples. So one could be like a sack race, or like a lemon and spoon race, or if your child is very young, then a very simple train ride or a caterpillar game. Everybody should hold each other at the shoulder or at the hip and just keep going around the house, around the sofa, around the table, under, over, by just holding on and probably making some animal sounds or vehicle sounds. Just playing bat in a ball, or playing like catch balloons, blowing bubbles, some type of physical game with another child, because any physical activity takes away the pressure of speaking. If you refer back to my first example I gave you about the two children, there was no pressure on either of them to talk anything. So they were quite happy with their company, each other's company first. Now, once they are happy and comfortable with each other, then if we slowly start working on speech or interaction, it's easy for the child and they can at least participate and attempt it. Let's say if your child has a sibling that they sometimes fight with, they took away my toy, he's not giving back my tab. Or let's say your child is not doing a greeting skill if somebody comes home, or if somebody is asking a question, they're not able to give the answer. So all these places where you're having a little bit of difficulty with how your child behaves in a social situation or in an interaction, just take that one particular situation which you came across recently and act it out like a skit. Act as if you are the stranger and you say like, oh hi, who is that? Let's talk to them. Or ask your spouse, or your child's uncle or aunt, somebody to act as if they are very new people and that they're coming home. Ask them to go stand out, knock the door, and then ask your child to go open the door and say hi, who is this, who do you want to see? Okay, come in, come sit, like that. So take small tasks. Let's say you and your child and their sibling is fighting for the tab. So then when the tab is in his sibling's hand, you take your child and go to him and say, please give it to me for 5 minutes. And then get the tab. Or if your child wants to take another child's toy and they go snatch it, so then you take your child back and say, can I have this, can I play with this? So you have to model, you have to say and show your child what to say in that situation by recreating that situation and practicing it with them. Do joint activities. When you can get an extra child to come home to play with your child, or when you can get their cousins or their siblings, give them some kind of cooperative task to do. That is, give them a big chart and some paints and tell them you can both paint together. Or arranging books. So put all the books on the floor and then you ask both of you, take the books and keep it on the shelf, each book one by one, both of them to do together. Or if your child has a cycle, so give them a little bit of water, like one bucket of water, two sponges to dip it in the water and then squeeze the sponge on the bicycle. So some kind of task which again there's not a lot of spoken language involved, but movement and physical tasks which they can do cooperating together. Now, the fifth tip is a huge one. This involves going here and clicking on this link to watch the whole course on how to teach social skills to your child.